My name is Gil Ledesma with JMG Security Systems, and I just want to thank everybody for joining today at our webinar. And our thought was that, in this COVID situation, that it would be beneficial to us and to clients to learn about Brivo and how quickly they have responded to this COVID outbreak, and introduce you to some features that they have in their software that can help you and your company by protecting employees, visitors, and anyone else that might be entering your building, as well as describing and introducing you to a cloud-based system that you may or may not be aware of or know too much about. So Tyler Herbor from Brivo will be talking about the product, features and benefits, and it may be something you want to look into in the future. Our goal is to present this information in the next 30 minutes. We have done this presentation once before, and there's questions at the end that we may go over by 10 or 15 minutes, but we'll try to answer all the questions as best we can. But I hope you enjoy this, and you can use the chat box or the Q&A box to ask questions, and then we'll answer those at the end, because this is going to be it's a lot of information packed into 30 minutes. We respect your time, and we don't want to keep you away from your work. So anyway, Tyler, with that, if you want to take over and talk about Brivo.
Thank you, Gil. Appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Tyler Herbor. I'm the regional sales manager for Brivo, based here in Orange County, California. Really excited today to introduce you to the Brivo platform. I'm going to start by giving you a quick background. We're going to go through a few PowerPoint slides, and then we're going to go right into a live demonstration so you can actually see what the platform looks like firsthand. So to start, I'll mention that JMG was a very early adopter with the Brivo product. They actually came online with Brivo in 2009, hard to believe. So well before, cloud was trending. They truly are an expert in the Southern California market when it comes to cloud and Brivo in general. So you're in very good hands with the JMG team. But a quick background on the Brivo, Brivo as a company. So Brivo was founded 20 years ago in 2000 actually. And we are known as being the pioneers of cloud-based access control. So when our CEO, Steve Van Til, launched the product and brought it to market in the early 2000s, it was the first cloud product, software as a service product for the commercial security industry. Today, if you fast forward 20 years, we are the global leader of cloud-based access control. Our main office is in Bethesda, Maryland, back east, but we also have an office in Amsterdam for our European operations, as well as Tokyo for Asia. We have over 25 million users on the platform today. We operate in over 40 different countries. We work with over 200 of the Fortune 500 companies in the United States. And then the last thing I'll mention here is we have over 10 years of cybersecurity audits that really underscore Brivo's focus on cybersecurity. I would encourage you to check out the Brivo website, www.brivo.com, for additional information. Our marketing team does a great job of publishing case studies, collateral, a lot of documentation on there. Brivo is really looked at in our industry as an innovator. This is just kind of showing our track record of innovation really from day one. The product was born out of a mindset of doing things better. There's a better way of handling access control. So the product itself was very revolutionary for the time. We're, by far the first to market. And then over the years, we've been first to market in a number of different categories. For example, in 2009, we launched our own cloud video solution called Brivo On Air Cam. Fast forward to 2016, we were the first ones to release a built-in mobile credential, which basically means you can use your phone to open up doors as opposed to a card or a fob. And then we just continue to innovate. I'm going to show you our newest fourth generation platform today, which is another path of innovation for Brivo. But this is really what you can expect when working with Brivo, is just continuous innovation. And we've really proven ourselves in that category. So this is a small sample of the big logos that are using Brivo. I mentioned before, we work with 200 of the Fortune 500 companies in the United States. although we have a very diverse customer base because it's a cloud product, and with cloud, you're paying only for what you use. It's a software as a service model. We have very small customers that have one door. We also, again, work with very large companies that have thousands of doors spread throughout the entire world and everything in between. So I'll just mention that, although these are some of the bigger logos, we definitely work with a number of small to medium-sized customers as well. We talked about our worldwide reach. So this could benefit you and your organization if you do have a global footprint. This happens quite a bit. We have customers that have operations here in Los Angeles, but they also have offices in the UK or Australia, for example. And through JMG's network and the Brivo network, you can extend your system globally. So be sure to talk with your JMG sales rep, and we can absolutely quote projects outside of the United States. Now, the Brivo mission is really, it comes down to this: simply better security. And you're going to see this on a number of our documents. You'll see it on our website. This is our mission. So this is really how the company was founded. First, the product is very simple. It's very easy to use. And I think you're going to see that in the demo. So it's easy to use. There's no IT maintenance required because it's cloud-based. We also believe in creating a better solution, better services, better products, and better solutions. And again, really the company was born out of that mindset. And then lastly, security. So securing your property, securing your people, and also very importantly, securing your data. We'll talk a little bit more about that. So simply better security is what we believe in. Now, when we say cloud-based access control, what does that really mean for you? So, what that really means for you is we limit the amount of hardware that's deployed on site. Unlike a traditional access control system, there is no need for a computer or server on site with the Brivo product. We really minimize the amount of hardware that you need to purchase and maintain. There is still hardware on site though. So with Brivo, you would have essentially a card reader wired to one of our control panels. We'll talk a little bit more about the panels a little later. So you have a reader wired to one of our panels. And if you're already on a legacy system, chances are we can probably use the readers you have installed. Brivo is very open when it comes to reader support. So as long as the reader you have installed is not proprietary, it will likely work with Brivo. The control panel is also connected to the electronic lock on the door, and it's tied into an internet source. Any internet source will work. There's no need for a sophisticated network. The panels only communicate outbound only. So you don't have to open any ports on your network. There's no port forwarding required. You don't even need to assign a static IP address to these devices. So again, outbound only. We use port 443 to connect with our host. And the greatest part of Brivo is what happens in the cloud. So for you, the benefit is there's zero IT burden with our product. With a traditional access control system, you would buy the software, load it onto a machine that you own, and ultimately you would be responsible for maintaining that and keeping it up to date and cyber secure. With Brivo, we take that responsibility off your plate. That usually results in a lower total cost of ownership and a much more stable and cyber secure product. The last thing I'll mention about this model is, unlike a traditional system, you're paying $0 for our software up front. So, usually that results in a pretty big cost savings up front. You're not buying software up front, and you're not buying a machine to load it onto. So several thousands of dollars worth of savings up front. The way we sell our software is as a service. So you are subscribing to the Brivo access control service, which again includes all the IT functions. You're always logging into the latest version of the software. The firmware on the control panels is always up to date. Cybersecurity patches happen in real time, et cetera. So again, no IT maintenance, which is very attractive. It's very convenient for your organization. Kind of moving beyond access control, there is a way to integrate video with your access control, which is very popular for sensitive or highly secure areas of your facility, like server rooms. The benefit of this is you can associate a video clip with an access control event. So anytime an event occurs, you'll have a video playback in the Brivo system. And there's several VMS systems we support. Our sister company, Eagle Eye Networks, is actually a leader in cloud video surveillance. We also support Exact Vision and a few other NDRs. And then lastly, the on-air interface. So we deliver solutions that our customers, you have learned to expect today. The system is modern, it's built on cloud technology, and it's very accessible. So you can access your Brivo system anytime, anywhere, without using a VPN or any other inconvenient means. You just simply go to our website to log in, or you download a mobile app to your iOS or Android device. So you can access your system easily and securely on the go. The mobile apps also simplify the administration. So you get a mobile formatted experience that allows you to manage the system easier on the go. And then lastly, we do have a built-in mobile credential called Brivo Mobile Pass, which basically allows you to open up doors with your phone as opposed to a card or a fob. So this slide talks about open integration. So Brivo has a very open, modern API. It was enhanced about 4 years ago. We built it with the latest technology. It's a RESTful API. We have over 800 unique integrations in place today. Some of those are listed on our website, the more popular ones that are on our website, but we have a lot of cases where our customers will create their own or develop their own software solution and integrate it with Brivo. So the possibilities are really limitless with the API, with what you can do with that. If you go to the website, again, you'll see a list of the popular API integrations we support. Some of the most popular ones would be like third-party visitor management, HR management, identity management, like Azure Active Directory, Okta, G Suite, those types of things. And we even have a dedicated web page to the API for any developers. It is developer.brivo.com. So if you want to learn more about the API from a development perspective, you can go to that page. Again, it's developer.brivo.com. Cyber, we kind of talked about this earlier, so I won't spend too much time on this, but the main point here is Brivo is very focused on cyber. We always have been, and I think that's a big differentiator. We're more of an IT-centric physical security company, whereas that is not really the case with everyone in the industry. It's becoming more so today because cyber is so important, but Brivo's been focused on this for many years. Just as an example of how serious we take this, we annually have a very rigorous third-party audit performed, and it's a SOC 2 Type 2 audit. So it's a voluntary audit that is not common. We haven't seen another manufacturer in our industry that actually has that performed on their company. Some of our cloud competitors say they have a SOC or they are SOC compliant, but when you ask for their SOC audit, they will likely hand you over a SOC audit from Amazon or Azure or whoever they're hosting their data with. But that's not, that doesn't mean much. So I'll mention that again. We have a SOC 2 Type 2 audit performed annually on Brivo. We can provide that to anyone once an NDA is executed. So that's the thing that stands out the most. That and the panels only communicate outbound, whereas a lot of more traditional systems, they require you to open up ports if you want to access them outside the network. Again, if you have any questions, I would encourage you to put those in the Q&A chat box, and we will address those at the end. All right, we're going to go into the demo here in just a minute. Before I do that, I wanted to show you what the mobile app looks like. There's really 5 core functions you could perform from the app today. The app is meant to be used for day-to-day type functions like monitoring system events. You can view live and recorded video if you have one of the supported integrations. On the go, you can easily manage users. So if you have someone that needs access to the building, like a vendor or something, and it's a weekend, you can add them into your access control system very easily on the go and monitor everything. Also, this is also very powerful. If someone was terminated late on a weekend or something, you can go into your Brivo app and immediately suspend their access very easily. And then these 2 things are also very powerful with coronavirus now, being able to control things remotely. You can unlock doors, change door schedules. You can lock doors down as well on the go. And then our mobile pass, we talked about that earlier. This is the built-in mobile credential. I'll mention that every Brivo account comes with 5 of these free automatically, and our mobile credential is reusable. So meaning you can issue a mobile pass to a visitor for the day, you can revoke it and issue it to someone else tomorrow. So every Brivo account comes with 5 of those free. And if you want more than 5, so if you want to have your employees use this as their primary credential, we can absolutely do that. Just talk with your JMG sales rep. They can get you a quote for the additional passes. All right. And the last thing before we go into the demo is the hardware. So we manufacture our own hardware, but we also support third-party hardware. So Brivo manufactures 3 different panels. We have a single-door controller called the ACS 100. We have a 2-door controller called the ACS 300, and then a larger, more traditional size panel called the ACS 6000. Now, in your case, with takeover situations, if you already have a legacy access control system that is, kind of on its last leg, it may not even be supported. Brivo does a lot of takeovers. With this whole legacy to cloud migration, we're seeing a lot of takeovers. So as I mentioned before, readers, we were very open on the reader side. So it's likely that if you don't have a proprietary reader, that can be reused with Brivo. Typically the wiring can all stay in place. The door hardware is fine. And now on the control panel side, you would either install one of our control panels and replace the existing one, or we could potentially use the control panel you have installed. We do support third-party control panels from Mercury. We support their EP1502 as well as their newer LP1502. And then we also support the door boards that go along with those. So potentially you may not have to replace much equipment at all to start using Brivo. All right, so let's go into the demo now. Doing good on time. All right. So as I mentioned, you can access your Brivo system anytime, anywhere, from any device as internet. We also have the mobile app available, which makes it a lot easier to log into the system on the go. The mobile format of this. You can, of course, if you wanted to, log into Safari on your phone, but the mobile app is optimized for your device. So this is the first thing you're going to see when you log into Brivo Access. It's going to default to what we call an event tracker. And the event tracker is basically going to show all door events as they occur. You'll also get a 48-hour trend analysis up top. The other thing I'll mention here is as events occur, they immediately pop up on this page. So you do not have to refresh anything. They just immediately show you the latest events. So we have quite a few events coming in right now because we have many different sites connected to the system. Each event will be time-stamped. You'll get a description of the event, the user's name, the site they're entering, the door name, and then if you integrate video, you can also get a video playback of the event. You have the ability to search back 365 days, so you have 1 year's worth of data with Brivo. We can pull reports going back further, but that would require a custom report. There's a small cost associated with that. You can archive reports and data longer locally, so you can just have the system, send you a report daily, weekly, or monthly, and then you can store the file locally. On the left-hand side, you're going to see a menu bar with other functions. So you'll see, we'll go through some of these right now, but all of your functions are over here on the left. One other thing I'll mention is, depending on your needs, we have 3 different editions of Brivo. We have a standard edition, a professional, and enterprise edition. So each edition is going to come with a certain feature set. The standard edition is going to come with all the core access control functions. The professional enterprise edition will add in analytics. We also bundle in our API and single sign-on and identity management. So the higher editions bundle in a lot of those services. A few other things I'll show you here. Device status is going to show you a visual state of all of your devices. So when I say devices, I mean control panels, cameras, and doors. So this is where you would come to see what the state of a door is or a panel. You can also get notifications. You don't have to, visit this page, at all times. You can get a text message if a door is left ajar, for example, or if a control panel goes offline. but this is a nice place to go if you're already in the system to find out, what the state of that device is. So for like this front door, for example, if I click on it, I can do a momentary unlock, or I can say maybe I'm doing like a last minute event and I want people to be able to freely come into my office. I can keep it held unlocked either indefinitely or until a certain time. Maybe the event's just for the next 2 hours, for example. Or I could just do a momentary unlock. Maybe someone showed up on site after hours and they left their card at home. You'll see the lock icon will unlock and then it'll lock. So you can get an idea of when the door is unlocked and locked. And then if you scroll down, it's just going to show you all of your sites. You can filter up here if you are managing multiple sites, which sites you want to view, and it'll just show you a shorter list. That's device status. Some of the features that come with our enterprise package would be Global View and Data Explorer. Those are really the two main functions that come with our higher editions. Global View is very useful if you're managing multiple sites. If you have one site, this probably isn't something you would need, but if you are managing multiple sites, this could be very useful, especially if you have a GSOC or command center, where you have a team of people actually monitoring critical events in real time and responding to those events. So this is useful because in real time, as critical events occur, it pops them up and pinpoints on a map where they're occurring. And then you can drill down and kind of find out what exactly is occurring, and you can respond to those. And every time you respond to an event, it clears it. So the rest of the team kind of knows that they've been handled. Up top, you're going to get a summary card of today's events, critical events, access events, and offline devices. And then you'll see a comparison to yesterday's activity and a trend. And if you expand this window, you'll get details on what was triggering these critical events. Data Explorer, we'll just touch on this briefly. This is used for custom dashboards and custom queries. So Brivo, the standard edition, comes with over 20 canned reports, and these are excellent reports. So this would only be needed if you have very complex issues that you're trying to solve. Typically, if you have hundreds or thousands of users and multiple sites, that's when this starts to make more sense. But this helps you visualize your data. Essentially, you can run reports and queries using any of the data generated from Brivo. And just to kind of give you an idea, these are some standard dashboards that I've previously created. This one here will help you visualize activity across all of your sites, so you can see which sites have more activity than others. And you can kind of change the timeline down here. So if you just want to look at one quarter, you can do that. There's also a little calendar option here. And then if you want to run a renew report, you just click this little plus sign, select the data source, and you can tell the system how you want to visualize the data. So you can say, I want a bar chart, or say bar chart, donuts. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with this. You can add a lot of custom filters and really drill down into your data. But again, this helps your organization solve some complex issues. With COVID, for example, you could use this to find out how space utilization has been affected. Maybe if you're managing multiple sites, you're trying to cut down on costs, and maybe you have a lease that's expiring. This is something you can use to determine, whether we should re-sign that lease, or maybe we should hold off. And just a few other things. We won't go over everything in detail today. What I would recommend doing is reaching out to your JMG sales rep, and we can schedule a one-on-one training and really personalize this to your needs. So we'll do a needs analysis and really gear the demo specifically towards your application. A few other things, user management. So this is basically the process you go through when you hire a new employee. Remember, we do have identity management integration. So this part does not have to be done manually. If you have a product like Okta or Microsoft Azure Active Directory or even Google's G Suite, you can link those platforms with Brivo so that when someone is hired and entered into that platform, that identity is immediately created in Brivo. And then on the opposite side, when you terminate someone, in Okta or Azure, their access control is also terminated. So it kind of just tightens up the security. But if you're managing your system manually, you basically come in here. We'll use an existing user as an example. That's a very simple form. You could do this from the app as well, but you put the person's first name, last name. You can upload contact info if you'd like. You can upload a photo. We definitely recommend that. What's nice about the app is you can just use the camera roll on your phone, so it makes it a little easier. You can add additional custom fields. These are useful for custom reporting or you can use these as custom filters. Groups are how you assign access privileges. So these are created by you. You basically tell the system what this group, anyone assigned to this group would have access to. It's very granular. So you can say, this group specifically gives people access to these doors at this site, these days of the week at these times. So it could be very, very granular. Just a couple last things, credentials. So you need to assign a credential to the person so that the system can recognize who they are. There's 3 different types of credentials. We have, your classic card or fob. We refer to that as a card. You can issue a mobile pass that says, please add an email first. So we issue the mobile pass via email. So you'd have to, if you did want to send someone a mobile pass, enter their email above first. And then PIN. So if you have a keypad on the door, you're issuing PINs. You can do that as well. And you can randomly generate one. You can also use this for 2-factor authentication, kind of like an ATM machine where you require a PIN and a card if you're concerned with security. And then last thing you'll notice here, I can set effective to and from date for this credential, and I can even specify what time it's activated. So I can really specify, I can say this credential is good only for the next hour, maybe for a visitor or something. The last thing I'm going to mention here is administrators. So what's great about Brivo is we don't charge based on concurrent login or workstation expense. There's a lot of different terminology kind of related to that you'll find with a more traditional system. I'm sure many of you are probably paying for those licenses now. With Brivo, we do not have licensing in regards to administrators. So you have the ability to add as many administrators to the system as you'd like. There's no additional costs. And you can specify what those administrators can do and see within the system. So it's excellent for a multi-site deployment where you do have administrators locally managing the system. But you may not want them to, handle something on the East Coast or in Northern California. So you can really specify what they can do. It's really simple. You enter their information here. You select a role. So the roles are how you define what features they can access. And then you specify what sites they can manage. So that really concludes, we're 1 minute over, I apologize. That concludes the presentation today. We're now gonna open it up for questions. So let's see. Oh, no questions. All right. I must have done a good job covering everything. Okay, so we got one question. Trying to figure this out. All right, Greg, you're on.
Unmute.
There you are.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you have an option where you can do the typical COVID screening questions on an app, and then that will authorize someone to come into a facility.
It's a good question. So we do have our own visitor management system that allows you to create custom screening questions. Although it's not tied into the physical access control. It's more of just a screening and it's a notification system for hosts, but our visitor management doesn't give someone access. Now we do integrate with a product called Who's on Location that I believe can do that. It's a third party, but it's fully integrated with Brivo. So that's something, I believe a third party can do, and they're called Who's on Location, but Brivo doesn't do that natively right now.
Okay, could one of the JMG salespeople give us some options there where maybe even a third party capability? Of course, if you've gone to the doctor lately, you can go take an app check down the screening questions, and some of them you get a QR code to actually let you in the building. But right
Yep.
now, I'm just interested in something that something where you can go through the questions and validate someone can come into the building.
Yeah, absolutely. We can set up a demo even with the Who's on Location team. So we're happy to help with that. Just yeah, get in contact with whoever your JMG rep is, and if you're not working with someone currently, Gil can you know, assign someone to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And I'll you know, we got one more question here, so let me see. So Joe's asking, do you need special card readers to use the mobile credential? That's a great question, Joe. So you don't, although we do recommend using our Bluetooth readers, although you don't even technically need a reader for our mobile credential to work. Although we do, again, we recommend our reader with the Bluetooth because it's more reliable. The problem with not using a reader or not using a Bluetooth reader is it's all dependent on your cell signal or your Wi-Fi signal. Because if we're not using Bluetooth, our mobile pass will essentially use your cellular service to connect with our cloud and to tell the panel locally to open. So that's the only problem with it, is it could be spotty and it's hard to really say. Bluetooth, on the other hand, is a direct phone to reader connection, so it's much more reliable. We know it's going to work. It even works if your phone is on airplane mode, for example. So we definitely recommend Bluetooth. For a lot of our clients, though, cellular is fine, but just keep that in mind. One other thing I'm going to mention, Gil mentioned this, and I apologize, I didn't go into it in detail, but you can explore. We have a lot of information on our website. In May of this year, you know, within a month and a half of the lockdowns, Brivo had already released several COVID features. We call them facility safety COVID features to our clients. So we rolled these out soon after the lockdown, and you can learn about them. If you go to the website, there's a big banner right on the homepage that says, you know, learn more about our facility safety features. So if you click on that, it'll give you a summary of each of them. Most of these, the only one that we would charge for is the visitor management. So a lot of these, 3 of these don't cost anything. They're just included. So I'll kind of just quickly explain these, and then you can come back here and watch the videos. There's a demo on each. We have a user contact tracing report that's available with Brivo that allows you to enter an exposed individual's name into the report, select a time frame, and then it gives you a list of all other users that followed that same path of travel as that infected person, meaning they were in the office the same day, they went through the same areas of the office, so that you get a shorter list of people you need to contact for your contact tracing. So it's a useful tool that you can definitely use. It's even more useful if you have multiple sites and you have employees kind of going all over the place. We also, and there's no cost for that, we also have personnel control, which is also included. Personnel control helps you enforce a check-in policy. So if you are screening visitors or guests or even employees, this will prevent anyone from coming in back doors or side doors. Basically, the way it works is if you enable it, the person's card will not work until they go through a check-in point each day. So they're going to have to go through a screening process, and then once they get the clear, they'll put their card on a checkpoint, and that'll activate their card for the rest of the day. And then we talked about visitor management. We have our own visitor management. We also integrate with third parties. This allows you to screen visitors or guests with questions. And then lastly, the mobile self-screening. If you're using the mobile credential, you can enable this, which basically will make your employees agree to your health policy each day before they can use the mobile credential. A little push notification is going to come up before they can use it, saying that by agreeing, they're agreeing to your health policy. So it's just another layer that you can add. So yeah, the videos, you can learn more by watching the videos, or when we do a one-on-one demo, we can go into these a little bit more in detail.
Thanks, Tyler. We're about 8 minutes over. That's typically what happens. Just questions and great questions. But I want to thank everybody for attending today. Tyler, thanks for your presentation. A lot of answers or a lot of questions can be answered on the Brivo website, or just get a hold of your a JMG rep if you are a JMG client. If not, you can send an email to sales@jmgsecurity.com, and the email comes directly to me. I'll try to answer some questions there, and then if you'd like to see a rep, I'll direct it to the right person. So anyway, if there aren't any more questions, we will sign off. And I hope this was helpful for anyone who didn't know a lot about Brivo, or if anybody had a little knowledge of Brivo. Hope this helped out with your continuing to know more about it.